Okay, so I did go to an Eternities pre-release, and fun fact, I wasn't planning on doing more Magic the Gathering things after Final Fantasy. That was my, you know what, Wizards of the Coast, you can take my money thing. But my friends were more interested in it, so I went with them, and I went with two friends. I went 2-1, another one of us went 2-1, and the other one went 1-2. I had a lot more fun than I expected, quite frankly. And that's all the cards that I got from the pre-release. It barely fit in the box. And my countdown, spin down counter, was interesting because the other two people that I was with, their die had like a dinosaur egg like speckle pattern, but mine is flat black, which I thought was interesting. It was very neat. But yeah, box was really cool. I enjoyed playing with the warp mechanic and all that other fun stuff. Top here is all the things that I got from my 3 booster packs, so I'll show those at the very end. And this is my counters that I use because I only built robots for mine. And this is my deck, and I'll go over that in a second. And it is actually missing one of the cards because I gave it to a friend who really wanted it. And it wasn't that crazy for me to want outside of the event. And this is the card separator, which was kind of cute. I liked it. I loved the lands and stuff, so I'm going to sort real quick. These are the rares, so I'm just going to keep them face down for now, and I'll go over them last. But yeah, I'm going to sort real quick, and while I'm sorting, I'll kind of go over what happened. When we were going to start driving to the draft, or not draft, the pre-release, what's it called? I made a joke because we were telling them, hey, you should probably bring sleeves for the event so that you can, sleeve up your cards. And he was like, hey, I'll only sleeve my cards if I get something of worth, and I don't think I'm going to get anything of worth, so forget that noise. And I made a dumb joke that, hey, you're going to pull a Tezzeret in your freaking sealed now because of that. And lo and behold, like first or second pack, he pulled a Tezzeret. So he paused to go and buy sleeves, sleeved it up immediately, and started building his deck. And he complained to me that I don't have any support for the Tezzeret. Because Tezzeret's a 3 colorless mana cost to go in, 0 to untap artifact or creature, and if it's an artifact creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter. And the other two is like search for a 3 or less artifact, which is -3, and -7 is the emblem where at the beginning of combat, target artifact becomes a creature, a 0/0 creature, and 3 +1/+1 counters on it. And he wasn't gonna ult with it because he actually had like 0 artifacts. I told him, hey, just run it anyways because your opponent doesn't know that. Use it as bait. Shake the keys, jingle, jingle, jingle. And yeah, he ran it. He won his 2. But what he actually wanted from the sealed pre-release was these full art lands, which he got none of, and I got 2 of, so he was kind of salty about. And the fun fact about the full art lands is these are actually the colors I played. I ran Dimir as my actual game plan. So that was cool. And these were the lands that I got with it. I'm going to sleeve those up later. I totally forgot to grab sleeves. But we'll deal with that in a bit. So for white, I'm just going to sort out the uncommons because commons are technically a dime a dozen, so I'm not going to worry too far about. So I got Emergency Eject, Wedgelight Rammer, which is a spacecraft. I actually did not get to play any spacecraft to the point where I got to station it fully for it to turn into a creature. And I actually discarded it as an effect the entire time. It was a very silly thing. But yeah, you can tell that I ran Dimir because my excess cards that I didn't run are like 4 to 5 cards, and that's it. yeah, I just chose not to take the crawlers because it didn't run well with my game plan that I'll go over in a bit. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and it was very funny that I brought into existence that he was going to gank a Tezzeret and not have the support for it, but he ran it anyways. It was very funny. And ironically enough, my pre-release promo actually was one of the cards I ran that essentially was my game ender, even though it doesn't by itself end the game. Yeah, my only other two dual colored creatures were these two, and I did not run them either because the rares that I'll show in a second didn't do very much for me. So I'm going to stuck these in Wooburg. Reverse Wooburg because I'm a weirdo. Actually, colorless goes after. And the lands. Actually, these two I will sleeve up in a bit, so I'll hold these off to the side. So those were my excess cards that I didn't use. And the rare cards I sleeve immediately because I'm a weirdo, hence my gloves, is this was the other color I would have ran, was Rakdos, because this is a nuke that I can just steal the ones that didn't die for their turn, and that's a game ender, probably. This exile thing was cool, but I didn't have enough white that I noticed at the time. This was partially also why I wanted to run red. I wasn't going to run green. Nesting grounds, moving counters and stuff, that'd be cool for other things. But yeah, those were all my things, and I didn't pull a single mythic this entire sealed, which made me very sad, because I didn't get any strong cards to use. My actual deck, I'm going to sort right now, but I'm going to describe it as I'm going, was essentially high removal shenanigans until I got my endgame cards to win. It's to stall them out, chip away at them until I can go for the kill. And the card that I gave away was a Leviathan called the Starwinder? I don't remember, but it was 5 colorless, 2 blue, and it essentially caused creatures that deal combat damage. And I may draw that many cards. I read it as I just draw that many cards. So that almost killed me during my last round. So that was fun. But yeah, it was interesting. Berg, so it's blue and then black. But yeah, the cool thing about that Leviathan was that it also had a warp for 4, so I can just still hit somebody real quick and draw more cards and try to get more lands in, because I ran 15 lands in this deck, which is because, I don't know, I ran 41 cards at the time. I ran 8 swamps and 8 islands. And as you notice in here, there's no lands, is because the card shop actually takes their lands back at the end. You know, to each their own. I'm not that bothered. But that's what they do. So these are all my cards, and I'll go over them real quick. So yeah, I ran a lot of removal. This is a kill card. Death touch, so more kill. -2 or -10 if I avoided something. So that was strong. If they had 0 attack after that, they die, so that's also good. Hand ripping is nice. I actually never played this card. This was a card I discarded because I didn't want to let my opponent draw 2 cards. And I wasn't going to kill my own creatures. But it was removal. It was a lot of, like, controlling removal. And this was to get more cards in, so I draw more. I actually did not use the Void for that. I kept on paying life. For things that was going to kill me, I had to exile. I actually got to play it once to remove a creature, but I never got to station it. I actually discarded it more than playing it. This I killed myself once with, because I lost X life and I was going to lose that game. But yeah. Very powerful, because I did pay 6 one time, stole a 6/6 trample green creature and just beat them with it afterwards. So that was fun. You know, counter spelling was nice. The second spell, I got him up to like a 5-4 with this because I had a lot of cheap spells and I just kept on stacking. I actually never got to use this to protect my creatures for the hexproof, sadly. This was very nice for chipping early. I actually never used the mana dork part of it. And this, I did not use it to tap down a creature usually. I used it for the single drop card on my turn. Single drop, that's a tongue twister. Single drop draw card for their turn. This one I definitely used a lot. The flying 2-hit is very nice. I use this on tokens more than anything, so they just disappear. 10 out of 10, love that card. Never saw this card other than discarding it. This one I got to make one token once, which is why I had the robot tokens off to the side. I went John Wick. They shot my dog. I killed them. I won that game as soon as that dog died. This is my discard card for those artifacts so that I didn't discard too. Very useful to get through all my stuff. And this is my promo card that I used for pretty much every game ender. Destroy all creatures and then target any number of target players mill half their deck. And even though I did not win the game, I was down to 1 life on my first match. I think it was the last match of that round. And I had to top deck a board wipe to survive the game for another like 4 turns, and I top decked it. I literally said, okay, I need it to be a board wipe, and I flipped it and just tossed it down, and that was the loudest I've ever been in a card shop. And my opponent also popped off with me, so that was a really fun moment for me. And this also was super strong to win my last game, my game 3s of my last 2 matches, because this essentially set up for my turn 7 Starwinder, the serpent that came in, and I just had extra removal in my hand at that time, and they didn't stop me, so I kept on drawing 7 cards and just overwhelmed them and killed them at the end. And I didn't know the May draw thing was a thing until after the event. I could have just not almost decked myself out, but you know, I pulled more removal that way. I did pull to 12 cards in hand at one point. I had to discard 5 lands just so that I had more availability. But loved it. I think this deck actually ran really well as long as I didn't fight someone that went really wide and warped warped creatures in constantly. It was good. The guy that beat me up, he had a really strong mono black artifact. I'm just gonna sort through my tokens real quick. Really strong mono black artifact that was like 1 black mana that just gave a creature +3/+1. And it is a free equip as long as you voided for the turn, which is, you know, something that left the field. You kill something or exiled or warped. Like, it was so freaking strong because he just kept on just jumping it into tokens after attacking, or he would purposefully use it to station, and like I couldn't kill enough things to keep up with the damage that I was taking. But that was the only match that I lost out of everything. So at the end of it, I won 3 booster packs because 1 was for participating and then another 2 for the 2 wins I got for the match. So these are the cards. I did not move the order of them, so yeah. I also pulled nothing good in this, sadly. Another Hellkite, which was cool. Yeah, that was a really cool 1-drop. This is actually worth money, so I'll keep that sleep later. Yeah, I had a really fun time going to this pre-release. Super surprising for me. And I don't think I'm doing any more Magic the Gathering stuff for a while. As I jinx myself as the Spider-Man set comes out, my friends are going to be like, "Hey, we should go do another pre-release." Whispers like the freaking devil in my ear. Yeah. Peace.